So hello everyone and welcome to this backstage coaching session on how to get clients during COVID-19. Certainly a hot topic right now. We thought it would be quite relevant to speak about this today in light of what's going on, but the principles that we're going to be talking about today certainly hold true whether it's a crazy emergency situation like this or any regular time, but we're going to be speaking about it specifically in the context of this. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natasha Mitchell and I'm the owner of Inspire and Drive. I'm a business strategy and efficiency consultant and I'm the creator of the Simple Business Blueprint and also a #1 best-selling author. In my day job here as a consultant, I help creative business owners to scale up their business with ease by creating systems and structures they need to do that so that they don't need a big team or a big budget and they don't have to sacrifice their sanity or their art. And joining me today is my friend Joshua Lisek. And Joshua is the world's only award-winning celebrity ghostwriter recommended by celebrities and is a #1 internationally best-selling ghostwriter also. Since 2011, Joshua has written over 45 books for billionaires, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and the breakout stars of tomorrow. So as a ghostwriter, I'm not sure he'll be able to tell us all his secrets, but he's been busy writing away there. And Joshua is going to take control of most of this conversation and lead us through some of his principles. But fundamentally this, I think getting clients is always something that's on the mind of us as entrepreneurs. And as I mentioned, as we're going live with this session right now in the world we're in the peak of a global pandemic, which is unprecedented probably in our lifetime. And what that means is getting attention of people seems so much harder than ever before. And there's a lot of information coming to us every day that we really have to prioritize. And as I said, Joshua is going to share his 6 pillars of influential content with us today that are really going to help you build credibility and connection with your audience. Welcome, firstly. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm glad to be here, Natasha. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, so Joshua, as you noted, you're the world's only award-winning celebrity recommended #1 international best-selling certified ghostwriter. Can you share just a little bit about the work you do with clients and why they actually hire you in the first place?
Yes. So as a ghostwriter, it is my job to capture an individual's ideas, their stories, without them having to do any of the typing, any of the work at all. Really, the idea is that people come to me who know that they need a book. A book is the key that opens all doors for a business. It is the credibility establishing, authority building, speaking, gig booking, revenue generating machine. It is quite a treasure. And if you look at all of the big names that we respect we follow them on Instagram, we show up, we get their YouTube notification, oh, they're going live, I better miss it. All of those people that you admire, they all have a book. Mm-hmm. And there was a dividing point in their careers. It was before they had a book, that ultimate validation tool. I know what I'm talking about because I wrote the book on it. Look at this 300 pages of wisdom from my career. You put that out in there into the world, it is an opportunity attractor. It's like you have mass. You become a planet or a sun, so to speak, and then you just use your gravitational force to attract opportunities. My own books. I went back and I looked at my calculations from what my own 2 books that I wrote. I started them 11 years ago. How much revenue were they responsible for my own business? Over $1 million US. Wow. My own 2 books have been responsible for. Yeah. And that's not to say my own clients' books. I have several who are in hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars even, but it's all because the book is designed to turn readers into high-ticket clients. Mm-hmm. In the context of getting clients for your service business, the people who are listening right now, how exactly does this apply to you? Well, the great news is that the skill set of a professional ghostwriter translates really well to marketing. I, in fact, have a marketing background in addition to ghostwriting. When you're writing a book that's going to convert the reader into a client, you need to know how to move people. You pull them in, you persuade them to adopt their ideas, you propel them to take the next step. It just so happens that when you're marketing your business or your brand or yourself online, guess what you're doing? You need to pull people in, persuade them to keep reading, and then propel them to click, to sign up, to enroll, to etc. And so that's really what we're here is to talk about how you can use a model that I've developed that I use to write clients' books. I've also used it in marketing it well. It works really, really well. It's called the 6 pillars of influential content. Influence being sharing a message with someone that then makes them take an action that you desire. So influential content is you put something in front of someone, they read it, and then they do something about it. And if there's anything you want with the content you're creating for your business in this time, you want clients. And in order to get clients for your business, you need to slide into their world with your message about your business and get their attention. And there's no better way to do that than with the 6 pillars of influential content.
Fantastic. And, I just want to point out, this is not, the stats around writing a book are amazing, and some people might be triggered now to do that. But certainly these principles apply across all marketing, as you said, and that's really valuable. And so, bringing us kind of to the point, as I mentioned, we're in this crazy global pandemic right now. It's really unusual. Probably people who are listening to this are seeing what's happening. There's an explosion of information coming out at us, and we're trying to filter that of what's important information that I need to be hearing from the government or from the healthcare, and then what's the important pieces for my business. And I've been having quite a few questions around that, Joshua, and I'd love to just hear your perspective on it. A lot of my clients are asking, is it okay to sell now? I don't want to feel spammy or kind of look desperate when there's this seemingly, not seemingly, really important thing going on in the world, and my business kind of seems so insignificant. So how would you respond to that question or concern?
People are still buying stuff. Why not buy from you, man?
I like it.
I'm being a little coy here, but with what's going on right now, yes, there are still people who are buying. In fact, I predicted 1 month ago that the book publishing industry would see a noticeable uptick in sales. It took almost a month for me to be proved right. So my prophecy has come true. Waterstones, which is the largest bookstore in the United Kingdom, they've announced that book sales have gone up 17% since the pandemic. So a month. So it took about 4 weeks for my prediction to be proven true. So if you want to know the future, keep listening.
And you've obviously got another secret skill that you didn't tell me about before we got on this call. But yes, it's no surprise to me either that people are educating themselves in different things. Maybe they have some more time on their hands. I think they're exploring and expanding, and I would agree with you. That's the kind of the discussion I've had with my clients as well. You're going to share with us some ways that we don't come across spammy or desperate, but fundamentally this, and I feel it very much with my business as a business coach and consultant. People need my services now more than ever. So I've got 2 choices. One, I can feel shy and kind of hold back and not want to offend anyone. And then the people who need me are not going to get the help that they need. Or I can come from that mindset, which is give people the support and help they need, give a lot of service, add a lot of value. And if people are ready to buy and work with me, then my services are available there. So thank you for providing your perspective on that. So we're going to get right into the pillars right now, and I'm going to share the pillars on the screen so people can see this. These are called the 6 pillars of influential content, and I would love you to give us a high level of what they are and how they all work. So I'm just sharing that with everybody now. There they are on your screen. So over to you, Joshua.
Yes. So you who are listening right now, you're listening to this because you want to get clients online during this pandemic. And there are a few different ways that you can do that. One of the most obvious ones is advertising. we're seeing a lot of businesses literally being shut down overnight by the federal government, by state governments. So it's probable that you've actually lost clients already. You've lost customers. There was revenue that you were counting on. And the idea of losing more revenue, quote unquote, through advertising, basically putting money into a business that you're a little concerned about the future of right now, it is a little scary. So this is not an advertising model at this point. It can be used for advertising, but our objective is to have a superior way to get clients online. That doesn't require you throwing thousands into ads with no certainty of getting any money back. We also want to know that we're actually going to be dealing with serious customers, not tire kickers or people who are like, oh, wow, I'm going to look for this 50% off, 75% off, 95% off sales and deals right now because everyone's hurting. Like, you don't want to deal with that type of a client who's just looking to get the best price possible because they know some businesses are hurting out there. So the idea of the influential content pillars is that it brings to you serious buyers. That's what we're going to be dealing with tonight. Now, the way that we apply the 6 pillars in publishing is a little bit different from the way we're going to talk about this tonight. We will treat each of these pillars as a type of content. Not type like a video or an audio, but when you're going online to talk about yourself, what do you say? Well, one message that you could share via an article, via a video, and we will get into specific recommendations for how to write articles, how to write videos, how to write headlines for all of those to get clicks and to get clients. We'll get all into that, so stick with us here. The first pillar is credibility. This is not, oh, look at all of my awards, all of my incredible accomplishments, look at my resume, my CV. It is, look at my lived experience. As a business owner, as a service provider, it's highly likely that you got into doing what you're doing because you either did it for yourself. So in my case, I'm a professional ghostwriter because I first ghostwrote, I wrote my own books. So
you weren't a ghost when you were writing your own book.
Yes, I was back when I was still alive. So I'm a classic services provider. If you're an accountant, chances are you went to school for accounting. Maybe you grew up in the family business, running the numbers, keeping the books. You had, your own job, and so it just comes natural to you. So you do that for other people. So what is your lived experience that demonstrates you know what you're talking about? And it's really important to set up the credibility pillar within your content because there is so much noise. If we just borrow a statistic from publishing, there are over 50,000 digital marketing books available right now. If you're going to be a digital marketing expert, what do you have to say that 50,000 other people haven't said yet? So what is your unique angle on credibility? I have demonstrated how to build the credibility pillar with the introduction that Natasha read for me, which is I'm the only award-winning, celebrity-recommended, #1 international best-selling, certified professional ghostwriter on the planet. In that long sentence right there, Natasha demonstrated my credibility. Wow, the only one in the world with those accolades, I should probably pay attention, is what you were thinking. And so here you are, paying attention. So we've demonstrated how to build the credibility pillar. Any thoughts on that, Natasha, before we dive into the connection?
No, that's great. But I do want to say I was very impressed with your introductory tagline. Certainly had me perk up and pay attention to you when we first connected through social media, which is how Joshua and I came to have this connection and collaboration.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the connection pillar, everyone. This is something that I see a lot of mistakes in a lot of marketers, a lot of business owners, service providers make. And that is not explaining clearly how what you do connects to what people are worried about. So I'll give you an example of how I do this. Over a month ago, I produced a video saying, here's how the impending outbreak of this disease is going to affect authors. I connected my expertise to what my target market is really, really worried about right now. Mm-hmm. And I use that to actually get clients, sending it out to prospects that circle people back around. That one video has been responsible for quite a bit of business. I connect my profession, my expertise in publishing to what you're really worried about, which is anyone going to buy my book during this outbreak? Like what's going to happen? Should I stop writing my book? So in that video, I say, Here's how to restructure your book so that it's in prime territory for serving people during and after the outbreak as the world changes. So connecting what your business is all about, connecting your expertise to specific outcomes is very, very important. So in the example of the video, I said, basically, watch this video because I'm going to tell you what type of books will sell well during the outbreak and how you can make yours one of them. Boom, instant connection. I describe the outcome. So connect your expertise to the outcome. And this can be done in a live video on your social media. This can be done in an email newsletter, on a blog, in a YouTube video. But connect your expertise, your business, to the outcomes that people are most concerned about during our outbreak, but just generally speaking, but especially now.
Yes, for sure. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got credibility and connection, and I'm just noticing these are all C words, so it's pretty easy. There's a pattern here.
Yes, yes. Speaking of C's, the third one is compelling. And this is very, very simple, and it is also literally simple. The most compelling communication is simple, it is brief, and it can be understood by a child. Especially people who have an academic background, or maybe you have multiple graduate degrees, you've been in academia for a bit, or you spent time in corporate. You tend to have a higher language tier, meaning you use more abstract language, more sophisticated vocabulary, probably some jargon from your industry, and that's just where you come from. But when you are marketing your business online, when you're writing a book, when you're talking with potential customers, that is the last thing you want to do. In order to compel people to pay attention, you have to write in a way as to be understood. And that means writing at the 5th grade level or below. Or depending on what country you're tuning in from, let's switch from 5th grade in elementary school to 10-year-old. Could a 10-year-old watch your promotional video about your business? Could they watch your Instagram Live, your IGTV? Could they go to your blog and read your article and actually know what the heck you're talking about? If the answer is yes, you, my friend, have compelling content.
I love that one. I think that's a guilty sin that I am often mess up on. Well, not mess up on, but I am guilty of that. And again, like I really do have to watch how complex or how simple I write that language. And one of the places that really forces me to write that is on Instagram, because I really notice how the language is, how conversational it is in that platform. So I think that's a great reminder.
Sure thing, sure thing. Now from compelling, we go on to counter industry. I love this one because, okay, you've all heard the advice. Don't trash the competition. Don't crash the competition. Don't crash the party. Don't be the one who speaks ill of your competition. Well, that is a load of crock, a crock of load. That is not at all true. If you're going to give people a reason to buy from you, give people a reason to buy from you. What do you uniquely do that runs opposed to what other companies do? I will give you a great example of the service provider that I just hired. We had this big old tree in our backyard. We recently bought a new property from all of the business that I've been able to generate using these exact same strategies. Hint, 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 hint. We had this big old tree in the backyard that has split in half from a storm. I got a referral to someone, basically people who cut down trees, brought him in, and I said, okay, so do we got to pay you this much for you to show up and get a quote from you? Because some service providers charge you for a quote. I said, okay, do you got to do this down, that much down, 10% down, whatever? And he said, no, we don't believe in doing anything up front. What's going to happen is it's going to be cut down within 24 hours. All of the stuff will be removed from the property. Unlike a lot of people who just leave limbs in the yard, we will even remove the stump at no extra charge, so you don't have to leave it there as an eyesore. And when you come back in 24 hours, then and only then will I ask you, and I will bill you. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. It was a frictionless sale for me as the customer, and it ran counter to so many people I've hired in the past. Just, contractors for my investment properties, but contractors for that home, of people saying, I'll come out to give you a quote, but that's $100 first to give you a quote. Imagine that, right? So it was an effortless experience, and that ran counter to so many other folks in the industry. If you do something different in your business, call it out.
Yeah.
If there are things that people are doing that are counterproductive, and call out what's wrong with them. And think about the fact that you have an ethical obligation to do so. You are an industry insider. You not only know what doesn't work, but you know why it doesn't work. So please dedicate some time and attention to that. One of the most recent clients I got was someone who found me, an author, was someone who found me from a video I did called The Great Ghostwriting Scam, in which I explained how a lot of ghostwriters that are my competition are scamming authors. And I specifically got into the tactics that they can watch out for to tell that they're going to be scammed. Super helpful. I didn't call anyone out by name, but what it ended up doing is getting people to say to themselves, wow, I didn't know that. This is someone I can trust because they're looking out for me. You can create that same effect in your content.
Yeah, love that one. And yeah, I mean, setting yourself apart from the crowd and your clarification. It's not about saying, oh, Joshua's bad or Joshua's a bad person. It's really just about pointing out what is the point of differentiation in the actual business delivery. Love that.
Absolutely. Now, the call to action, this is where a lot of things, I see a lot of powerful messages kind of fall off the rails a little bit. The call to action is telling people what you want them to do and making it a frictionless experience. So for example, I have several pieces of content out there on YouTube and podcasts that I've done where I always make the focus a specific ask. And the ask is always something that I know people want to do. For example, when I'm doing podcast interviews and I'm talking specifically to aspiring authors, my call to action is as follows. Hey, you got a lot of great ideas on writing your book, structuring your book, marketing your book from this episode, but now you've got too many ideas in your head. Let's take all those ideas and sort them out and find the one commercially viable book idea. And I'm going to help you do that over with my book ideas generator on my website. It's going to take all the ideas in your head and turn it into one simple headline so you can run with that idea. It's easy call to action. It's exactly what people want. It's making it easy for them. It's a piece of content. So that can be the same in your business. We often hear about, a lead magnet, this free checklist, this free book, this free webinar, or this free that. Well, are you actually giving the people what they want? This is a great example right here, Natasha. A lot of people are concerned about getting clients when so many businesses are shutting down and people are being laid off from their jobs. Like, how are we going to make this work? Well, this is a timely piece of content that will be popular as a podcast being syndicated. So this is, in fact, a good example of the fifth pillar, the call to action pillar.
Fantastic. Yeah. And, I think even when you and I started talking about putting this podcast and the session together, that, a couple of weeks ago when we talked about it was quite different, and we actually made a pivot in that period because the context of which we were working in had actually changed, and this became a more compelling piece of content, and the call to action then was a little bit more relevant to what was happening. So that was a great example of that.
Sure thing. That brings us from the fifth pillar of influential content to the sixth, which is circulation. Circulation is all about reaching as many different people as possible in your market. An example of this is my own business. As a ghostwriter, I can work with nonfiction authors and fiction. I can work with romance novelists or sci-fi series junkies, someone who's writing their autobiography, someone who's writing the next great business book. So what I do is I contextualize my expertise. I want my name and my brand and my messaging to circulate with as many different niches in my market as possible. So I'll take an idea of like how to write a compelling book, and I will turn that into how to write a compelling novel, how to write a compelling memoir, how to write a compelling business book, how to write a compelling self-help book, right? Contextualizing it. Think about who the different types of customers are that you serve. What's going on in their life right now, and how you can be of assistance with your business and circulation. If I were to say why this is so important, the sixth pillar, it's what makes you relevant and makes you look like you're not advertising, but rather helping. It's the helpers in this time, the businesses that are helping, that are coming across as helpful and useful, that are going to win during the coronavirus outbreak. And I'll give you an example. Think about your competitors' advertisements. You've probably seen them before. I know, because I see my competitors all the time. What have you noticed about the way they talk about their business? I do this, I do that, I have this price, I have this service, I.
Right.
It gets old, right? It gets really old. What if you can come along and use the second person, you, talking about who you serve, who even is your target market.
Right.
Talk about what's going on in their world. I have a definition of thought leadership that is very helpful to use to think about content. Thought leadership is simply being the first person to tell people what's already going on inside their head. So have a message with circulation that gets shared, that gets you clients quickly. How can you call out exactly what fears people are having right now? And again, this masterclass, this podcast is a great example of that. What brought you here to watch this, to listen to this, is the fact that we called out that you don't want to have to run a 95% discount to get business while all the businesses are shut down. You don't want to have to put thousands into advertising, not knowing if it's going to produce any type of return. And you don't want to be spamming people left and right and getting your email blocked by everyone. So circulation is a critical pillar because it makes you relevant.
Yeah, I love that. And, again, I think it's interesting to me to be in this environment of pandemic and all of this information. Strangely enough, it's been a catalyst for me to actually be of more service to my clients than ever before, and to actually attract a lot of clients that Joshua, we're going to talk more about this, but, for whatever reason, weren't resonating with the message that I was sending. But, my approach to this has been a very service oriented. I have provided some free content out there. It won't all be free, but I have provided some free content out there, and just really come from a place of service. But that has really allowed me to do exactly what you just said. I know what clients are worried about because I'm worried about those same things, and I can really speak to that. And I even, talking from my own experience, but it is really resonating. It's relevant. It's very coming from a very authentic and service oriented place. And, I think a lot of those pillars are sort of tying into my experience that I've had within this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a great thing about what you brought up, Natasha, is the fact that the 6 pillars of influential content are not something that you have to figure out from the very beginning. It is practical. The idea is that you put your business in front of the most likely to buy people. So what we're going to get into, I think, next, Natasha, is how do you actually get clients online using this model as fast as possible? Finding people who are actually ready to buy, not those who are just price shopping or tire kicking or discount hunting.
Right, exactly. And yes, so that is absolutely the next step.
Let's contextualize them. So if you're going to use this to get clients with your, you use the 6 pillars of influential content to get clients online, you'll need some additional tools. I'm very much a market research junkie. I think that is a great way to get edge over competition. We're just sitting there thinking, what should I write about? What should I say? And they're just kind of going with whatever comes to mind first. So the 6 pillars of influential content takes care of what you should say. But how do you actually create this content and put it in front of people? Well, here are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a tool called Keywords Everywhere. Keywords Everywhere is a Chrome extension. It's a plugin you can get on most browsers. Very inexpensive. I think for several years worth of service, it's cost me like $10. What this is going to allow you to do is identify the keywords related to all 6 pillars of influential content, so that you can create content that is built to demonstrate credibility, content that connects your business to what people actually care about, compelling, simple language. Like, what are the exact words that people are using, even if they words you wouldn't necessarily use to describe what you do inside of your business? All of these. And the idea is that you're creating content that's targeting keywords that people who are likely to buy are already typing. For example, I have several pieces of content out there targeting the keyword hire a ghostwriter. If someone is searching hire a ghostwriter, are they tire kicking, or are they probably looking for information about how to hire a ghostwriter?
Right.
I am
very
the
specific.
third. Yeah, right. I think I'm the third ranked video on that. I'm way higher than a lot of like ghostwriting agencies and ghostwriting firms who've been around for 20 years. And just because the content is relevant. So what Keywords Everywhere allows you to do is just start typing away. What I would recommend is creating a simple spreadsheet, 6 columns, and you just have each of the rows labeled, or each of the columns, credibility ideas, connection ideas, compelling ideas. So you essentially have yourself 6 categories of content, 6 types of content, all built on the 6 pillars. And you're alternating, right? So one day you're recording a video, building your credibility. The next video you do is all about connection. The next one after that is about compelling, and so on. So back to Keywords Everywhere. Let's say, and I can even give an example here. So let's say that you are wanting to get the keyword business system.
And sorry, Joshua, would you like to share your screen while you're doing that?
I sure can. Oh, you have to unshare yours first.
I'm going to stop sharing and go ahead.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I believe everyone, you can see my screen right about now. So this is what Keywords Everywhere looks like. This is the first necessary tool to get clients online once you know you have the 6 pillars of influential content in your back pocket. Keywords Everywhere is this really cool, as I said, tool. Here's what it does. You just type in a keyword inside of Google here, and it tells you the search volume. How many people are searching for it every month? What's the cost per click? Not super important. Competition. 0 being the lowest competition, 1, a full 1, not 0.1 or 0.01, but 1 being the highest. This, Natasha, is a very, very low competition keyword. I recommend that people look for keywords that are between 100 and 1,000 searches a month, somewhere in there. Because a lot of companies that are trying, like bigger competitors like corporations, franchises, they're creating content that's targeting 74,000 searches a month, 100,000 searches a month, 1 million searches a month. But these, few thousand or even few hundred searches, especially if you can work with anyone in any country, are pretty powerful. This one, 5,400 searches a month. So for you, Natasha, you should have content that uses the keyword business system. If you look at some other ones related to your business, Natasha, simple business plan sample. That's one of the things you talk about, is having a simple plan, a simple business blueprint that you can run with. Well, this one right here, really low competition, 0.17. So it's well within the bottom 20%. And then we have about 1,300 searches a month. So what we want to have are keywords that we know people are searching for. If someone's looking for a business plan sample, what's happening inside their head? They're actually looking to write a business plan. They're not just searching business plan, but sample. They want to get started. They want to see what the thing looks like. They want to get going. If I move the keywords, or if I go over here and look at some of the other keywords, this is really powerful right here. When you're using Keywords Everywhere, it also shows you related keywords and people also searched for. So you get an idea of what's happening. So business plan sample PDF. is a keyword, very low competition, but almost 10,000 people a month are searching for this right here. So I would say for you, Natasha, just go to search simple business plan sample and look at all the related keywords. And this essentially is your guide for what you talk about.
Fantastic. Now, I love that. That's the simplest way I've ever seen keyword searches demonstrated before.
Yeah, it's real simple. Highly recommend related keywords everywhere. And these are basically what you need to talk about. But now, okay, so I'm going to talk about giving people a simple business plan sample. That's what you're thinking for yourself, Natasha. But how do you filter it through the 6 pillars of influential content? Well, for example, let's say that you were wanting to use the second pillar, connection. So you, Natasha, you want a piece of content that connects your expertise as a business strategist to what people are trying to do. So we need to have a headline, a title for this piece of content that uses simple business plan sample, which we know people are searching for who are serious about a business plan, to your business. Got to create that connection. So maybe the video is something along the lines of download a simple business plan sample, or download my simple business plan sample. And then I'm going to ask you, Natasha, why do people need a business plan? What does it do for them?
It helps them make decisions. It helps give their business some structure. It helps them free up time, which is what a lot of them are looking to do. Free up time, stop feeling overwhelmed.
Gotcha. So maybe we're going to connect your expertise to saving time. So maybe your piece of content is this simple business plan sample saves you 10 hours. If I'm starting a business, I don't want to waste time on administrative stuff. Right. I want to get to it as fast as possible. So maybe there's even statistic, Natasha, that is like how long it takes to write the average business plan. And that is a massive time. So let's say for simplicity's sake that it takes on average 13 hours to write a business plan. Right. So the piece of content could be, my simple business plan sample saves you 13 hours, or this simple business plan sample saves you 13 hours. Or yeah, so maybe you could even put in front of it, hey entrepreneurs, my simple business plan sample saves you 13 hours. So when you open the video, the first words out of your mouth are, did you know that it takes on average 13 hours to write a business plan? And it's like, oh, now you've connected to what people are most concerned about, which is wasting time putting together a business plan they're not sure if they're going to follow in the first place. Right. Now, I said video. I highly, highly, highly recommend videos, because what it allows you to do is repurpose content. Just as our conversation right now is being repurposed from a masterclass into a podcast, I highly recommend you do everything on video. So you don't have to have everything written word for word that you're going to say. Right. You kind of have a general idea. You're going to make one point, and then you take that video, you transcribe it, fix the grammar, make it readable, publish it as a blog on your website.
Yeah, so I think that's so powerful about reusing that content. That's something you and I have spoken about before, is how do you, and I think a lot of people struggle with that in the social media world. They're trying to create content for all these different platforms, but I think you're already demonstrating how you can take one piece of content, turn it into a blog, turn it into a podcast, turn it into a masterclass, an article on LinkedIn, an abridged version on Instagram, for example, an Instagram story maybe.
Absolutely. It's all about repurposing the content. What you can even do is go to places like LinkedIn or Facebook and just take the transcription of your video and publish it there as a status update, as an article. Do the same on Twitter and make it a thread where every 3 sentences from it, you say you have the title, so it'd be like my simple business plan sample saves you 13 hours, a thread, and then you reply to that tweet with the first 3 sentences. next tweet, and you turn your article into like a 25 tweet thread. Same on Reddit or any other forums that you're on. It's about being familiar with the platform. But the whole point of this is you do one thing first, which is video. A video is killer. It's what I do. I mean, even should give you a couple examples as proof. So look at this right here. Best-selling ghostwriter. It's not highly searched. It's only 10 per month. But look at this. I'm #1 on this for YouTube. Go and look at proposal. I'm #3. But it's my website that's #3. Notice how for best-selling ghostwriter, I am #1. It's my video that's #1. But over here, it's the blog article. It's the video at the top, and then it's the transcript of the video. It's like a 8 minute 15-second video. So this piece of content on book proposals, because I publish it at a video, put the text on my site, Google sees that and says, wow, we should put this guy towards the top of Google. So out of 726,000 results on the internet, I am #3 out of 726,000, which is a pretty good feeling. No advertising required to do this.
Love that.
Yes, I mentioned that there are 2 essential tools in addition to the 6 pillars of influential content. The second tool is specifically for videos. It is called TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is another Google Chrome extension. What it allows you to do is to figure out, is this a video that's going to actually show up at the top? Do you have a good chance to make it to the top of Google, the top of YouTube? Think of it as helping you sort through your ideas. So you have 6 different types of messages, and you know what exactly you're going to be talking about. So here's one that you could use, Natasha. Scale a business, 220 searches a month, very, very low competition. So should you actually use the keyword scale a business or a related keyword like how to scale a business fast, scale business model, startup scale up, how to scale a services business? You're like, oh, this is 12 hours of work right here just creating these 5 videos. Which one should you actually do? So to kind of recap, the 6 pillars tells you how to position your content. So you have 6 different messages really for every keyword. Like every keyword is 6 different videos, 6 different ways that you approach that keyword. 6 chances of being at the top of search results for people who are going to buy anyway. This allows you to promote your business without the sleaze, because you're not pushing content in front of people. You're putting it there where their eyes are going to see it anyway, the eyes of actual customers. So now you've got a different way of looking at keywords that could be great choices for videos. But should you actually produce content? That's what TubeBuddy is for. So you're asking yourself, you help people scale businesses. Well, should you actually produce a video about scaling businesses? That is what TubeBuddy tells you. When you have the TubeBuddy Chrome extension, you go to YouTube. You type in the potential keywords that you could use, and then you open up TubeBuddy. In the search results of YouTube, it says TubeBuddy Search Explorer. And there's a big blue button that says Show Keyword Score. You click that little guy right there, and it opens up and it tells you, overall, do you have a good shot at being #1 for this keyword if you produce content? This one, scale a business, it says 22 out of 100 is the overall score. So it says overall this keyword is searched often, but it is not a great target because it's very competitive and would be hard to rank for. Wow, that little tool, this free tool, saved you 5 hours, maybe creating a video you didn't necessarily have a good shot at turning into a #1, 2, or 3 search result. You really want to be in the top 4 search results for a keyword. I get plenty of business from YouTube, from Google, people finding my videos, even though I'm maybe #2, 3, or 4. I have quite a few keywords I'm #1 on, but it's the numbers 2, 3, and 4 that I get a lot of business from. But it's because I went to TubeBuddy and found, are people, is this actually something I have a good chance of ranking for? So now we're going to search a different keyword. As an example, how to scale a business fast. It gets 140 searches a month, pretty low competitive score. We click show keyword score, and it's also fair. It tells us it's probably not the best keyword to look at. We'll do a third one, for example, and this one is business blueprint. That's one of your things, Natasha, is having a blueprint.
Yes.
That is very poor. That is
Very
definitely
low.
not.
I better not use that one.
Yeah, it is a 4 out of 100. It is a bad target because it's extremely competitive and very hard to rank for. So the more ideas you have for keywords, the more potential choices you have ultimately for creating winning content.
So can you just clarify one thing for me there? I understand that I wouldn't make a video, which is how to scale a business, but the keyword ranking with, say, scaling a business or the simple business sample seem to rank quite highly just in some kind of text format. Could you kind of explain the difference there for me?
Best to use both these tools together because they give you additional information. I use keywords everywhere to first really look at, am I looking at keywords that are within my sweet spot? My sweet spot is 100 to 1,000 searches a month.
Right.
Because that way it's not like it's 5 searches a month, probably not worth my time. And it's not 100,000, which corporations are spending millions targeting those keywords. So I'm probably not going to get there anyway. I'm in that 1 to 1,000 spot. So when I'm coming up with keywords, I'm looking for a few different things. I'm looking for keywords that are within my 1 to 100 or 100 to 1,000 searches a month sweet spot. And I'm also looking for variations. So as we saw, scale a business, we took that, it fits the bill. It's got 220 searches a month. It's in the sweet spot. We take it over to TubeBuddy. And so TubeBuddy allows us to determine, so yes, it's in the sweet spot, but should you actually invest in creating a piece of content with that in the headline to try to get onto the front page of Google in the top 4 spots? And TubeBuddy tells us, actually not. It's probably not.
Right.
So, and rather than just shoot us down and say, these are terrible ideas, we go back to keywords everywhere. We look at all of the related keywords. So scale a business, there are something like 30 different variations that people also search. And that's usually where your great ideas come from for TubeBuddy, because then you take all of the different variations that are still within your 100 to 1,000 searches a month, and then you find out which one works better. So for example, business blueprint template, it's one of the suggested keywords for scale a business. Yes. It is 36 out of 100. It's better. It's not best, but it shows that, wow, there's ones that are worse, there's ones that are better. So it's really a research process. I do this about once a month, targeting different keywords, and then I'll sort through literally hundreds of different keywords, and I will go through all their variations, and I'll find ones that A, are 100 to 1,000 searches a month, and also B, I'll say this again. I look for 100 to 1,000 searches a month on keywords everywhere that also that get a great score from TubeBuddy on YouTube. So it's a 2-step vetting process to make sure that your content is gonna show up towards the top of Google, towards the top of YouTube, because Google owns YouTube, and therefore Google, that's 2 search engines for the price of 1. And you actually have a shot of getting business from your keywords.
Love it. I mean, those are such simple tools. I think everyone's seen how simple they are to use, that I can completely see how I would use them. I do a lot of video actually in my business. So being able to have this additional piece of information, I think will be extremely valuable and make quite a big, well, I know it will, because you've already demonstrated how it can make such a big difference. I mean, that's really powerful.
Absolutely. The combination of keywords everywhere and TubeBuddy allows you to figure out exactly what you should talk about. And then the question is, well, how do you say it so people actually pay attention, take action, and become a client of yours? That's what the 6 pillars of influential content are for. It's a 1-2 persuasion punch. This is how this is one of my best ways to get clients online without spending any on advertising. I have gotten clients from ads before, but this is really my main thing. My main go-to now is this 1-2 strategy.
Yeah, really, really powerful. And what a benefit for entrepreneurs not having to invest thousands and thousands of dollars in a whole lot of advertising, which if any of us have done that before, we know that it hasn't always been successful. And, so this is really is extremely powerful. But if you'd like some more help with this, Joshua's got amazing resource, obviously. Needless to say, his experience speaks for itself, and just that one little demonstration of pieces there, really, I think you could see how valuable that is. But Joshua is actually opening up his calendar for free discovery calls, and the link is on the screen right now, and Joshua will open up his calendar and he can help talk to you about your content and strategy plan, which would be really useful. And if anyone needs some help more on the business side of things, then you know where to catch me. I also have an openings in my calendar. Same thing, calendly.com. I'm Inspire and Drive /Simplify. So that's our contact information. I just wanted to share that with you now. We're getting towards the end of our discussion today. Any last thoughts, Joshua, that you would like to share at this point? I think we've covered some really fantastic ground. You know, the 6 pillars are just so simple and straightforward to understand. This whole keyword piece, I can see that it's a great starting point, and for people just new to this, may take a little while for them to get familiar, but I think it's just about at least knowing where to go. And again, as you've said, I think that's a great clarification. It's not just about this is, the keyword is the exact thing you are selling or offering or searching for. They're the kind of words that people are actually searching for in your field to find that information. And that's really what we want to get to, is that was sort of the start of this. We said, how do we get people to find you online? I mean, we talked specifically about coronavirus, but I think that's the tie back, right? Doesn't matter whether it's coronavirus or any other time. What we do know is there is a lot of information out there and there's a lot of competition. So the tighter you can get on those keyword searches, the more likely you're going to capture people's attention.
Yes, and this is a systematic way to do this. The Keywords Everywhere tells you what are some of the different keywords that people are searching, so you know you're going to be creating content to put in front of people who are probably going to buy. So they're unaffected probably by the coronavirus business. If you're searching how to hire a ghostwriter right now, you probably got the money. You probably work, your business or industry is unaffected. So I want to be in front of you, especially at this time. How to hire an event planner, how to hire a wedding photographer. Like, if people are actually serious about that, you want to be in front of the eyeballs of the customers who are searching for those things, especially if you have a location-based type of a business right now. So you can actually create pieces of content around how you as an event planner are now creating online workshops instead of in-person workshops. Right. So how to create an online workshop, maybe. Yeah. You could do something like, if you're doing like wedding photography. So, how to throw an Instagram-worthy wedding party during coronavirus.
Right. Yeah.
Content that is designed for people who are probably going to buy, who have the money to buy right now. And not just now, but generally. It's especially important right now to be in front of people who have the money. And by creating influential content that checks all 6 pillars, that puts you in a position where people are going to say to themselves, wow, this person is the real deal. I actually want them to help me. You're influencing them. You're persuading them to pay attention to you, and then you're propelling them to take action and reach out to you for something that they want to get.
Amazing. Well, Joshua, I want to say a big thank you for sharing your time with us today and your knowledge. As I said, because I operate very much in an online space, I rapidly am seeing how this applies, and I quickly understand where some of my content has fallen down, and not that it's bad content, that it just hasn't had the right keyword searches to reach someone. So I hope that has been valuable for other people as well. I'm sure it has been. And I would just like to reiterate that if if you have a project that you're working on and you want to go deeper with Joshua on this and talk specifically about your specific strategy, I highly recommend you jumping on a call with Joshua and discussing, the depths with you. Obviously, he can not only help you with your strategy, but his skill set is such that he could help you ghostwrite a book, or perhaps assist you with some of your other content as well. So I encourage you to jump on the line and have a chat with him. So I'm going to wrap up for this evening. Joshua, again, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And if anyone has any questions for me or for Joshua afterwards, we're both on Instagram. I'm at Inspire and Drive, and Joshua is at Joshua Lisek. So you can also direct message us there. So don't be shy, reach out and ask a question. And we both wish you all the very best success of coming out of coronavirus healthy and safe, and using this as a time to keep momentum on your business and keep sharing your skills and knowledge with the people that need you most. So thank you again for joining us, Joshua.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure, Natasha.
Great. Have a good night, everyone. Bye for now.